Okay, so this is it. You adjust your waist. You ensure that it rhymes. You set it in such a way that it's not up nor down. The joining has to be on the same line this way. Can you see what I'm saying? So you adjust and set to ensure that that is how it is. So you lay the front skirt and the basket on top of each other, and you confirm your waist. I know I'm correct, but I'll still check. So I have a 2 inches extra, that's 1 inch on both sides as seam allowance. I'll still go ahead and check to confirm the waist. I'll also confirm the hip, just to be sure that the seam allowance I added is the exact seam allowance that I have. This one's supposed to be 18 thereabouts, so that means I still have my 2 inches seam allowance and everything is correct. So now I'll just remove the 1 inch allowance. Can you see 1 inch? I'll mark 1 inch, and I will align my waistband in such a way that it rhymes, just what I explained earlier. And I will mark my 1 inch also here. Then I will start joining. But please join carefully. Ensure that this band rhymes. It has a lot to say about your professionalism when you are done sewing. So just start sewing this way. Okay, so now you cut the excess thread after joining, and you will check. You see what I was trying to explain? My waistband rhymes and I am good with this. So now you fold it over again and finish the other side. So after bringing it together like so, you will lay it on the table, still making the waistband rhyme like I mentioned earlier. Then you will divide your waist by two, measure the result and mark what is left. So mark what is left. There are times that you might need to adjust one or two things, maybe the fold didn't make it correct. Like I have that issue now. What I did earlier, I thought I was correct, but now the zipper is telling me that I was not correct. So I will adjust my waist divided by four. That's 7.5, 7.5. So this is what I have, not what I did earlier. So it is important to measure as you go. You divide your measurement and ensure that everything is still perfect. So now we'll just align and sew all the way down like so. Okay, so this is it. Then you cut the thread. You can even trim the side seam. You weave the sides. I can trim this down a little so that it can rhyme. But whether you cut it or not, your weaving machine should do the work. So take it to your weaving machine and weave. It makes it neat. You should weave every joining. It is important. So just trim this way and go ahead and weave, and that is that actually. Okay, so now I would just have to loosen this one. Okay, I've not even stitched it. I would have to correct this other side. I'll just check and be sure. Then I'll just correct it. Now I told you that the seam allowance I held earlier wasn't correct, so I will correct it. I will ensure that my waist is 30, which on fold is 15. So I will just blend this to the hip like so. Can you see what I'm doing? I will just blend it to the hip like this. I'll backstitch when I get to the hip so that my seam doesn't open up. So I'll just cut all the excess thread. It is not good thread hangs around your clothes, your outfit. So then I will need to loosen this first stitching because I don't need it, the first stitch rather. So I'll loosen that. Then I'll cut this my long zipper. I like to use long zipper for skirts, that way it is easier to wear, but then I cut off the excess. So how do we finish this slit opening? You would mark the 1 inch like so, the 1 inch zipper allowance. You mark it at the M. Then you can either use scissors to cut, or you use your iron to bend it. You can use iron to fold. So whichever one you do, just turn your skirt to the wrong side and fold it over like so on 1 inch. Then you run a stitch on this 1 inch to hold the slits in place. You run the stitch line like so from the hem upwards, but ensuring that it is folded on 1 inch so that it will look good and it won't be bent and look somehow. So while you are stitching, you would stitch to about 1/4 inch above the slit opening. This is to ensure that you are securing the opening of the slit, that edge. So just sew like 1/4 inch above that opening. Then you turn this downward this way. You backstitch as many times as possible, maybe 3 4 times or 5. Then you put your needle in the machine, in the fabric rather, and turn over to finish up the other side of the slit. So you just sew. My sewing line is not up to 1/2 inch. I like it being tiny, like maybe 1/2 inch at most. So you will just cut the excess thread on both sides the way I'm doing. I prefer to cut the thread as I go, that way I won't forget. Then you turn into the right side. So now, okay, you just go to the hem line and finish the hem. How do we do that? We added 1 inch allowance for the hem. You fold it 1/2 inch twice. Then you start stitching. So you back stitch at the beginning and you stitch all the way to the other side. You stitch all the way to the other side. Okay. So now I do something on this corner so that I don't have bulky side seam. I just fold a triangle and I cut. The triangular fold is like 1 inch length. So I make it 1 inch length so that by the time I fold my hem, it covers up the opening. But this way, I don't have bulky side seam at the hem line. So I'll just continue folding this way. I'm intentionally showing the process because of our beginners. See the way I'm doing it. I'm folding it one at a time, ensuring that I'm tucking in everything I need to tuck in. This is what you should do also. So that's triangular folding. Just in case somebody missed it, don't worry, I'll do it again for the other side. But it's not hard. Just fold it in triangular way. The length of the triangle should be like 1 inch so that your hem folding can cover it up. So you see, okay, not even up to 1 inch, maybe 0.75. But I'm used to it, so I didn't measure. So you can just measure it and fold. And but if your size seam allowance is not bulky, you don't need to do that. I told you that it's not good to use plenty seam allowance. This is the reason. So now I will just finish up like so. I'll just finish up this way. Okay, and this is the end of the class. So simple, right? You should try your own also. So check around, cut every hanging thread anywhere seen. Then give your skirt a very good press. Ensure you weave all the inner part that needs to be weaved. The band you need to weave before you join, because after joining you won't be able to weave it excellently again. The side seam, ensure you weave it before you fold the hem, and take all the necessary precautions. So this is mine. Please do your own and show me your works in class. I will see you in the next class. Bye for now.